Jai Singapore. I'm getting a feel of being in Singapore because of the cozy ambience of this beautiful auditorium and the way they have started this function since the morning. It is worth Jai Singapore. And I have come first time in this auditorium. Though I have visited Singapore, Jaisingpur several times, that is why I am getting feel of Singapore again and again. Nevertheless, I am here for review of this book, open review of this book. Let me start. Honorable Chairman of today's inaugural function, Dr. Mangesh Jatkar sir, Chief guest of today's function, Dean of the Faculty of Homeopathy, MHS Nasik, Dr. Rajkumar Patil sir, all the respected dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, and all the delegates who have come from most of the states across the country, mainly from Maharashtra, Karnataka, Goa, Madhya Pradesh, and my dear students. Probably the author of this book has assigned this work to me. It's a difficult work to make an open review of any book which is published or launched or inaugurated. Myself being an author of 2 books, I found it really difficult. And very difficult to make a review on such a book where the title is quite confusing. There are lots of hoardings put up here in the hall as well as there outside the hall. A lot of advertisement has been done regarding this book. But at the outset, if you look at the cover page, it doesn't look a book of homeopathy. Let me be clear. When you allow somebody to speak for a review on a book, you have to accept criticism also. But don't worry, sir. I'm not going to criticize on the book. It is a duty of a reviewer to speak the truth. And that is what I'm going to do here within a span of 5 minutes. If you look at the preface of this book, if you go through the preface of the book, nevertheless, the reader doesn't read the preface. It is a sad story. They don't read the preface, they don't read the foreword. They directly start with the chapters. Am I right? But I insist upon you to read the preface first. Preface is the essence of the book because that comes from the heart of the author who has ideas about writing any book. And we have such a big personality here because we heard a lot about Dr. B.S. Bhosale sir. He has given so many seminars across the state of Maharashtra and India, well-reputed speaker, national and international. So what must have gone through his mind for the last 25 years? That all has come in writing in this book. But when you read the small case of the title of the book, Understanding the Man in Miasm, that clicks your mind that it is something related to homeopathy. But my dear friends, theory of miasma has been given away by the conventional health science professionals. It is only homeopathy which has stick to the theory of miasms. The rest other health sciences, they are still working with the theory of germs. So that makes a difference between homeopaths and all other health science professionals. So give a big hand for the title of this book and homeopathy. Very beautifully, he has connected three important words of our lives, of our existence: life, spirituality, and homeopathy. And I don't think there is any other science which is connected to spirituality, a medical science. And for that purpose, he has set out 22 chapters under index. And each chapter has specific language which is spiritual as well as scientific. During his intro, he said that he went through Bhagavad Gita and Vedanta and Vipassana, and that clicked his mind to write this book. There are so many books available in the market for the homeopathic science, but you will not find such kind of book. I am going through this book for the last 8 days. Almost I have completed it, but in a hopping manner. And through that, I understood that this is a different book. Maybe because of that, the organizers over here, they called it as a special book. I too call it as a special book. My dear friends, I don't know whether you remember or not. Recently, the National Commission for Homeopathy has brought up a new BHMS course. We call it as a transformation in homeopathic education through regulation 2022. And today's BHMS course, new BHMS course, which is based on a syllabus, CBDC, curriculum-based competency-based dynamic curriculum. And that has given a good touch to this book, because you have started with that word, how the syllabus has started in NCH regulation 2022. There are 2 batches undergoing that course these days. And for that purpose, I don't know whether you knew that regulation, but it has come in the book. Our regulation starts with universe and evolution of man. And similarly, this book also starts with universe and the evolution of man. Then it proceeds further. And everything is the form of process. There is a chain of thoughts, there is a chain of actions which is required for everything. And that has been incorporated in this book. You all know, you must have read, because this is the era of 21st century science and technology, that only 2 things exist in this universe or cosmos, and we call them as atoms and space. So we are all part of atoms and space. Because to this root level, usually nobody goes. For that purpose, you require rigorous reading and that kind of mindset. And this mindset, our friend, today's host, and the author of this great book, Dr. B.S. Bhosale sir, has. I think this is your first book. Yes. Hearty congratulations to you on your first book. The first book itself has come in such a beautiful way. Then hope what he would produce in coming years. I would request you to, when you publish second edition of this book, please put a foreword. This book doesn't have a foreword. And I request you, if you take my foreword, you will be very happy. But take permission of Jatkar sir and Rajkumar sir, because they are higher authorities in our system today. Foreword is missing. Somebody else has to recommend this book. But now I am doing foreword also, I am going to do recommendations also. As I said, atom and the space, which goes through the time that has been incorporated in this book. You may be knowing theory of Big Bang. You must have heard about Large Hadron Collider, what we call a laboratory which is established by CERN, CERN, which is located in Switzerland on the boundary of France near Geneva. We all know that everything is made up of molecules, and molecules have atoms. And atoms have core and electrons. And core has nucleus and protons. And the protons were considered to be the minutest particles. But this experiment, which was done in the year 2012, they have further reduced to another particle, which is called as Higgs boson particle. So cannot be reduced further, which carries all the characteristics, qualities inside it. And that has come to the world through experiments. You know, religious people, they believe in God by faith. But these people have searched God by experiments. And that particle, Higgs boson particle, is considered by the religious people as a God's particle. And that God's particle has an energy. And that is why you all know that homeopathy is a science of energy. And Dr. Hahnemann himself says it is a divine science. So divinity is related to God, and energy is related to Higgs boson particle, which is missing from this book. I request you to add that in your second edition. My dear friends, I am giving all this explanation to you. It was in my mind for so many years. But I am a man of anatomy. It's not my duty. People of Organon are sitting over here. There are so many teachers from Organon field over here. But somebody has to be started it, and it is started by Dr. B.S. Bhosale sir. Once again, congratulations to you for choosing this topic and the contentions. My dear friends, he has divided the processes of everything that is in existence in this universe, in the cosmos, right from embryology, birth to death. So there is a embryological process here, there is a birth process here, there is a genetics process here, there is a physiological process here, there is an emotional process here, there is an intellectual process here, and there is a process of death. Ultimately, when we die, we leave energy, and left energy exists in this cosmos, which is transformed or which is taken by some other body. That is what we believe. And that energy means Higgs boson particle. And that is what is God, the current scientists say. But those scientists, physicists who have searched this Higgs boson particle, they get annoyed when you call it as a God's particle, because they are all atheists. And they don't want, but for the purpose of lay person's understanding, you have to find out the God. So science doesn't believe in a creator. They believe in Higgs boson particle, which is the creator itself. That is why we have a ever-expanding universe and the cosmos. So we are all universe and the cosmos. He has touched embryology in such a way that when exactly the energy enters the human body, that has been given through embryological knowledge. You all have studied embryology, and you all know conception, fertilization, where two haploid cells fuse together to make one diploid cell, what we call as a zygote. And zygote is the first human being which is unicellular. And that multiplies further to make us multicellular. And through all those germinal disc and all that, we get all these derivatives, parts of the body that you all know. That has been given in a separate chapter in this book. I have never seen a book who mentions embryology in a homeopathic book. I'm a man of anatomy. I'm a professor of anatomy for 34 years. And that is where I was astonished. So when I went through first chapter, I know embryology. You all also have studied embryology. But embryology, from the point of view of homeopathy, you have to go through this book. It is in brief, but it is required. Then he has given understanding of the man. Without understanding of the man, we cannot understand the man in disease, then man in health, then man in disease, and man in cure. So those things are common things which are required in this book. That's why he has given all those things. And regarding everything, other requirements which are required for the practice of homeopathy, of course, they are all here. And finally, he has given 8 so-called incurable cases which are cured with repertorial evidence. And that is why this book makes more special about homeopathy. You know that there are many homeopathic practitioners, but many people don't handle such cases. For your knowledge, I'll just read out the pathological diagnosis. Psoriasis, metastatic carcinoma tumor of stage 4, GB syndrome, HIV, femoral hemimelia, pemphigus vulgaris, and carcinoma of cervix grade 1B. These are all late stage cases which he claims that he has cured those. And during the session of this whole day national seminar, he is going to speak on that. He is going to show that, but it is already incorporated in the book. So there is, this book is required for first BHMS students, for second BHMS students, for third BHMS students, for final BHMS students, for interns, for practitioners, even principals like me. I strongly recommend this book to all the principals. First, you all read this book, tell to your teachers and the staff members. I recommend this book for the MUHS as a textbook, sir, and also to NCH to bring this book under textbook instead of reference book, because there are many things which are not available in any other books. So we understand the life force, what we call as vital force, through this. I think that with this short review in brief, hope you all understood the importance, significance of this. So that is why this is a great day for homeopathy. And on the occasion of Mahavir Jayanti, this event has been organized. So again, this makes a very big day. Let me wish you all very happy Mahavir Jayanti, and I will end the review of the book here.